Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today I just want to share something that I read as I was reading my devotional this morning, a quote that really stuck out to me, something that I'm taking to heart, and to be honest, something that really called me out as a believer and something that kind of challenged me, which a lot of times, we don't necessarily want to hear those things, but ultimately those things are really good. Those things help in our relationship with God. Those things really call out kind of the areas of weakness that we really need to improve on. And so the quote is, "We can trust and depend on God only by the extent to which we know his character." We can trust and depend on God only to the extent to which we know his character. Basically saying the more we know God, the more we know who he is, the deeper our level of trust can be. And then it's vice versa. The less we know of God, the less we know about him, the less that our trust and reliance on him is going to be. And I think one of the biggest issues in a lot of our faith, and something that I struggle with too, is just we try to do things on our own strength. We try to base life and go throughout everything just off of our own feelings and our own strength. But a faith that is fueled by feelings will not flourish. A faith that is fueled by feelings will not flourish. That if you try to do things just under your own strength and your own power, that it's ultimately not going to lead anywhere, right? Because in a matter of one day, you'll have one moment where you're on top of that mountain and you're happy, life is good, I'm doing great. And then like an hour later, well, now I'm sad. Now I'm anxious. Now I'm worried. And literally just in a matter of minutes, you went from here to here. And that's what happens in our feelings, right? We fluctuate and it goes all over the place. And when our faith is founded in those feelings as well, that's going to happen to our faith. That it's going to be all over the place and it's not going to be secure. It's not going to be grounded in anything. And ultimately it's going to hurt us as believers, and it's going to limit the depth in which our relationship and our faith can grow. But when we turn to God and we actually know God on a deeper level, on a more intimate level, our trust and our reliance and our dependence on him increases, and that ultimately is going to set us up for success. And so I just want to encourage you guys with something that I tell my students all the time is, I don't want you just to simply know of God, but I want you to know God. Like I want you to know who he is. I want you to know him on a deep and intimate level. I don't want you just to know him on kind of this basic surfacey level, but no, I actually want you to know him as a father, as a friend, as a savior, because that's who he is. He's all these things in one. And there is so much that we can learn about him. We can always be growing and learning more about him day to day. And so I just want to encourage you guys all that to stay grounded in your word, to stay grounded in what God is saying and what God is doing, as opposed to our own strength and our own feelings. Because we will lead ourselves astray. We will lead ourselves to destruction. Our feelings will fluctuate and go all over the place. And then with that, our faith will be like that as well. And so I just want to encourage you guys to be grounded in God's strength and God's love and God's power, as opposed to our own. Because we can only trust and depend on God only to the extent in which we know his character. So keep diving deeper, keep growing in your relationship with him, because there's always more to learn. There's always more to know when it comes to God. It is impossible to fully wrap our minds around him and all that he does and all who he is. So I just want to encourage you guys with that, to stay grounded in him, stay rooted in him, because that's going to lead to success. That's going to lead to life. Thank you guys so much.